So here we are back here in Sedona, Arizona to do Bear Mountain. We'll be going up the Bear Canyon Trail, which is not a very long trail. It's only about 4.9 miles round trip, but it's just over 2,000 gain. I've been hearing a lot about this particular hike. Not so much about the distance, but a lot of people have been saying that it's very challenging. And by the stats, I mean, it looks like it's just under maybe about 1,000 feet a mile. But I've also heard a lot about the beauty of this hike. So seems like one of those must-dos to do here in Sedona, Arizona. So here we are at the parking lot, at the trailhead. It's in the middle of September 18th to be exact. The sun is coming up. It's about 7:30 in the morning. So we are actually running a little bit late, and we wanted to get going about an hour earlier, but just due to just things that happened this morning, we're starting a little bit later. So no big deal, but I can tell that it's starting to warm up already, and we want to get this thing going. So here we go. All right, so we're a little ways up the trail right now. As you can see, the parking lot's just out there. But I gotta say, already it's feeling a little bit hot out here. That's why you really want to start these hikes early in Sedona, even if it is September. It does warm up pretty fast. But so far, it's already like looking beautiful. A lot of like stairs, like rock stairs that we have already gone down, and now climbing up, as you just saw. And I think a lot of this hike is going to be a lot like that, which is going to be pretty cool. It's going to be some rock climbing, but like easy rock climbing, you know, like fun rock climbing. I will say though that I did forget a few things today. I did forget my my Gatorade, my cold Gatorade that's still in my fridge. And we didn't bring any food, but it's a short hike. I think we'll be fine. We had a big breakfast. But I forgot my GPS, which is a real like downer for me, because I always like to know where we are and where we're going. This particular hike shouldn't be a problem because it's a good trail all the way up. It does have like these white dots that you kind of follow and, you know, stay on the trail and all that, but there is a lot of false summits apparently on the way up, and I always like to know what's going on my hike at all times, and not have my GPS is it's kind of weird. Feel a little naked without it, to be honest. But I was able to pick up a topo map of this hike on my phone. Oh well, we'll get through it, and on we go. Up on top of really like the first real ridge, and behind us might be the summit, not really sure. Again, we haven't even hit one of the fall summits yet, so I'm probably not going to fall for it, but that's pretty big out there. And there is some other small little humps on the way out there, so I'm assuming those might be the fall summits, but that could be the ultimate fall summit. But we won't know until we get there. But look at these views over here. We just came up. I don't know if you can see that, but that's all in the basin of Sedona. So yeah, it's a beautiful hike. Still, the climbing continued. All the white dots that we're following continued. I am again tracking this hike on my phone, and really for the first time. I never really used the app to do it, so it's I'm kind of learning as I go here. But it's the wind is picking up, thank God, because it's definitely cooling things down. Still not even a cloud to be seen, but we're gonna keep going and find out what that is exactly. Right behind me here is fall summit number 1. The reason why I believe that why some people would think that this was the summit is because it does go higher, of course. But then here we have to start going down. You have to go down into this valley area in order to go back up and then over to there, which is I'm still putting my money on that this is the real summit. But this might confuse some people because they might look at like, well, now we're gonna go down and go into another like mountain range, and so this must be the summit, but it's not. So this is fall summit number 1, and we'll see what fall summit number 2 looks like up ahead. Just like that, we're actually here at Falls Peak number 2, which is actually the same as almost the other one, which is, these are called Peak 5680. They're both considered 5680. I don't know why that is, because we actually did go down and then came back up, and now we're up here, and now we're about to go back down again, and then over here, and then again, probably all the way up there. All right, we made it to the top of Bear Mountain. Sort of. It's the top of what we're going to do today. We actually made it to the end of trail sign, but according to the actual map, this is actually another false summit. If you see right over here, this point, this is called Middle Bear Mountain, and it's actually 35 feet higher than this end point on the trail. But see, that's the problem, is because the trail ends here, and we just spent a good 10 minutes walking around seeing if there's another like used trail or something that goes out and around out to that other Middle Bear Mountain. But there sort of is, but we're both wearing shorts, and it seems like a lot of yuccas and thorn, those little thorn leaves, and cactus and all that stuff. And it's a lot of bushwhacking. It's totally doable to get out there. It's only 3/10 of a mile away, and it is really the high point of Bear Mountain. But you know, with us starting so late, and we're just not in the mood to deal with going out there. I mean, you're talking, it's probably, even as short as it is, with the bushwhacking and the cross-country work, it's probably going to be another hour and a half out and back. And so we're going to call it done here, where most people call it done. And these views at this point here are actually good enough. It's pretty phenomenal. So it's we're going to be up here and take some pictures and head on back down before it really starts getting hot as the day continues. Did you see all those red ants? That was crazy. Like, honestly, there's no good place to put your bag down or even sit down or anything. I had one that climbed on my leg when I was taking a photo of Marianne by the sign, and one went up my leg and bit me, and now it's still stinging even though I killed them on my leg. So no, that ain't gonna happen. We're not gonna stay up there. That was the only misfortunate thing about the summit. The views were amazing and all that, but having those red ants everywhere, that is not good stuff. All right, we made it back to the Jeep. Yeah, so the heat was a factor. You know, overall, it's a pretty good hike. I actually thought it was gonna be a little bit better personally, but if you like that kind of, excuse me, if you like that kind of, you know, rock climbing or bouldering or just dealing with rocks the whole time, then this is a great hike. What I do like about it, it's like a no-nonsense hike. It really gets right to it. You know, it just has a punch. It doesn't really have a lot of, or if any, like flat parts just to waste miles or anything. I mean, it gets right right down to business right away from the start, pretty much to the top. I would also say that if you're ever training for like flat iron, this is like a mini flat iron, hike. Great training before doing that hike down in the Superstition Mountains down in Phoenix. I think I would have enjoyed it a lot more if it wasn't so hot out. It is now even hotter than it started, of course, because the days later, but it's just, it's almost to the point where, I mean, you're literally hiking in the desert. This is definitely like a desert hike. I mean, it has everything a desert has. It has the yucca plants, the cactus, the heat, and all that. So I wouldn't come out here unless it's a cool day and to really enjoy it. But other than that, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one.